Are you a self-actualized person who lives life out of your authentic self? I'll be back in a moment to offer some thoughts on how that might be accomplished. In the words of Abraham Maslow, a self-actualized person has learned how to embrace their life purpose, a life work that reflects both their creative self-expression and is self-rewarding. But the most common trait that defines an awakened, self-aware person is the fact that their gifts are of service to at least one other person. They've learned to embrace the wisdom that their life journey is not a journey for self. It's to evolve consciously and support the awakening of our global human consciousness. They have chosen to become part of the growing human tribe that's focused on awakening their consciousness and dedicating their lives to making a difference in the world. This awakened tribe of people strives to intentionally change the world and change the way they think and how they see the world. Their vision of the world is universal and inclusive. What I mean by that is their vision of the world is one in which every living thing fits. It's accepted and it's honored. They're people who look at a flower, for example, and see the universe. They're people who offer compassion to the universe by offering compassion to the person in front of them. When they look at others, they see the evolutionary impulse to become, the impulse that's incarnate in all of creation. They know that the universe is not only evolving, it's going somewhere, and they want to be an engaged, co-creative part of that evolutionary process. When an awakened person looks at the world and sees human hunger, for example, they see unconscious ignorance and the imperative need for our human species to awaken. They're the people whose life sings a song for others. They see the world through the eyes of their heart. These people understand that the only path to a viable future for our species is one that embraces cooperation and teamwork. Stated simply, they're the people who have awakened their consciousness through self-awareness, and they have wholeheartedly come to embrace their life purpose, a life that's dedicated to adding value to the lives of others. The questions that you and I have to wrestle with are simple. Are we awakened and living the life that we were born to live? Is our life big enough for our soul? Or does our unconscious primitive ego, the ego of our inner child psyche, have us somehow trapped living a life that's focused only on self, a life that's way too small for our soul? Or, stated another way, are we living out of our small self? Or have we learned to awaken and live life out of our larger, authentic self? These sound like questions that would be difficult to answer, but the truth is they're not. Just look at your life and ask yourself, am I happy? Am I truly happy? Does my life have meaning? Does my life add value to the lives of others? If you can answer yes to those three questions, you can be confident that you're living life out of your larger, authentic, awakened self. Now, if you answered no to any of those three questions, the probability is probably pretty high that you're still living out of your primitive ego's small self. It might be time to change some priorities and values in your life. Let's take a look at an awakened consciousness. Conscious awakening begins when we have the courage to look within and to pay attention to the kind of energy that we're sending into the world. Is our energy compassionate, or is our energy somehow self-focused and judgmental? Stated simply, is our energy focused on adding value to the lives of others, or is our energy primarily focused on our own needs and desires? When we have the courage to intentionally pay attention and be truly honest with ourselves, Every time we see ourselves sending out judgmental or self-focused energy into the world, the day will come when our self-focused negative energy will no longer make sense to us. In fact, it'll make us increasingly uncomfortable. On that day, you'll know that your consciousness has begun to awaken. On that day, your compassion and concern for the welfare of others will become as important to you as your concern for yourself. And as that awareness grows, you'll know that the values and concerns for others that give all of our lives true meaning and purpose will have begun to enter your life also.